You've seen the thumbnail, you've clicked the video, you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Manchester United on the verge of agreement for Sporting striker Viktor Gyökeres. I have to cover it. Do I believe it? Not really. But let's drill into it and see what's being said. And is there a chance here? Because I would love to be excited, because I think this is sensational if we pull it off. But I can't sit here telling you I think it's going to happen. According to reports in Portugal, United, they are claiming, Sports Witness and Portuguese outlets, claiming that United have muscled in to hijack Arsenal's move for this absolute goal machine. I can't sit here thinking that that's correct. You know who he is. I don't need to introduce him by now. He's the guy that scored 54 in 52 last season, giving him a grand total of 97 goals in 102 appearances across 2 seasons. The video game numbers, right? But what he is a 6'2" forward that is a perfect fit for Amorim's system. And it isn't just about the numbers, it's the all-around gameplay which makes it make sense. Obviously, Amorim had him when he was gaffer at Sporting. There's clearly a prior existing relationship there. But he wants Arsenal. So why are we even having this conversation? Well, let's rewind it a little bit. All summer, United have been getting heavy links with him. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and Arsenal have been heavily linked with him. Gyökeres himself came out and basically said, I want to sign for Arsenal. I want to rule Arsenal out first. Let's get it right. He said, I want to rule Arsenal out before I look at anybody else. Bold. Because at the time, Arsenal was seemingly like all the way down the line signing Sesko. So it didn't look like they were going to be bringing in Gyökeres. Then that seemed to materialise. It looked like Arsenal were ready to pay the release clause. And he obviously wanted Arsenal. So now it's a case of 1 + 1 equals 2, right? Right? Not necessarily. Negotiations with Sporting were underway, but money was the hold-up. Arsenal and Sporting have been locked in a stalemate over the structure. It's not about the fee, it's about the structure of the fee. Sporting want bonuses that are easy to hit. Arsenal aren't quite on board. So then it became a bit of a game of chicken. It's dragging on for days, weeks. As we know, we've found this ourselves with the Mbeumo deal. During that time, Gyökeres' camp repeatedly signalling that United's not a contention or a consideration for him at the moment. Basically, his agents are telling that Sporting, don't you dare try and start a bidding war because he only wants Arsenal. And maybe that's why the news about him only wanting Arsenal kind of came out. Obviously, Champions League football has got to be the only reason why you would choose Arsenal over United, but it is a valid reason, I guess, right now. Arsenal have got the edge. Until plot twist of all plot twists. Now, I would love this so much to ruin Arsenal's summer. The way they've lost their heads over Noni signing for him, I would love a meltdown over them failing to get Gyökeres and at the same time massively bolstering Manchester United. United have swooped in out of nowhere. It's in Ebola, which doesn't have a great reputation, but also SIC Nicositas, which is a little bit Noticitas, which is a little bit of a better outlet. And according to those reports, United and Sporting are very close to an agreement. United are agreeing to pay a little bit more than Arsenal's offer. And essentially, United have supposedly called Sporting's bluff and put a better deal than Arsenal are willing to do so on the table. Now, it's even in more outlets than those two. Mice Football and Record. They are quite good, reputable Sporting and Portuguese connected outlets. They're repeating the story, though the Record does add that the player still wants to go and sign for Arsenal. So, what's going on? Can United actually hijack this? Is there more of a likelihood that Sporting are using United's name to put pressure on Arsenal into finalising their bid and maybe upping the fee a little bit? Or are United actually genuinely in the mixer for Gyökeres? Because we're not really linked with any other strikers at the moment, and we, Christ, need a striker. Now, Sport Witness themselves, they think it's very likely a case of trying to push Arsenal into action. Some people are saying it's a bit of a classic sporting bluff. Obviously, 1 minute, Gyökeres' camp saying that United are not even an option. The next minute, that was supposedly on the verge of sealing a deal. Doesn't really add up. But it doesn't fucking add up. It's not a case of really, does it? Have United explored this transfer? Well, I think it's one of those on the surface of things, it made so much sense. So you think that United would have done this. But the likes of Andy Mitten and that were saying that Gyökeres' name wasn't even a name that they were hearing around Carrington. Ruben Amorim and his connection to him and the fact that United need a striker are like the only things that would point to this happening. And even that doesn't mean it's happening. So, do United need Gyökeres? Well, Rashford's gone. Cunha isn't a 9. Højlund is rubbish. Cheeto is too young. United absolutely need a striker, right? You absolutely need one that knows how to play Amorim's system. Gyökeres walks into our starting 11, and even if he's half as good as he's been for Sporting, he's still 6 times better than what we've had previously. The ability to press from the front absolutely suits us now at the ground. The ability to hold play up and to bring others into the game absolutely suits us to the ground. And he's not just a box poacher. He can create goals. He runs at defenders. He's got abilities that we absolutely lack against deep blocks like we saw yesterday against Leeds. Signing Gyökeres to go with Mbeumo and Cunha, you're going to see United fans saying some wild shit. But can we actually pull this off? I don't think we can afford him to start with. Sporting are making it quite clear that they're not going to let him go on the cheap. The release clause is somewhere in the region of 100 million. I don't think that's what Arsenal were going to be paying for him. I think there's an agreement to go for a little bit less than that. They're saying that the price floor, 70 million, is still not enough. They obviously flat out denied that there is this gentleman's agreement for allowing him to go for 60 million plus 10 million in add-ons. He's sort of said that while they won't demand the full 100 million, 60 plus 10, which might mean 70, isn't going to do it for them either. So reading between the lines, they're going to want somewhere in the region of maybe 75, 80 million euros, which is quick maths, like 75 million quid, something like that. Now, he's still a great signing for that. Arsenal's last known offer was 60 million euros plus bonuses, which is why you're in this kind of stalemate. If United are truly on the verge of an agreement, then we must have come in, and I'll be honest with you, I don't believe it for a second, we must have come in with 70 plus add-ons. I don't think United have got the capacity to spend that sort of money, I'll be honest with you. Not necessarily down to financial fair play or PSR, because it seems like we're in agreement with that. I don't think we've got the financial muscle to do that. I don't think we've got the money in the bank to do that. Spending what would then add up to be, 190 million on the front line in 3 fantastic signings would immediately level us up, and be phenomenal business for us. 3 players that have all played in England, 2 of them have played in the Premier League. You've just delivered essentially 90 goals across 3 players. Does that take us from 15th to top 5? It does. That would be the swoops of all swoops. I just don't think United could do it. Maybe they could do it if you sell Anthony and Sancho and Rashford and Malacia and Garnacho. Rashford's just gone on loan. We can't even sell Anthony, who did actually have a good time on loan. So for me, this Gyökeres story, it smells of Sporting trying to force Arsenal into action. It smells of that. And I think that is probably the explanation. Is this news out there? Clearly. It's out there in all the Portuguese press. How is it out there in the Portuguese press? Probably because that's what Sporting have briefed. Sporting will have come out and said, here's what's happening. Now, the problem that you're in is if you're a Portuguese journalist and Sporting Lisbon come up to you and say, here's what's happening, well, that's what's happening. Unless you can go and prove otherwise, unless you've got a contact at United that you can say, Sporting have told me this. Can you confirm or deny that? And if they say, we're not even in for him, mate, that's the only way you're going to be able to put that one down. But then you could fall out of favour with Sporting and not get briefed the next time. It's a mad little dance that journalists and clubs have to play with each other. But as always, I have to cover it. I have to cover the possibility of that happening, even though, let's be honest, I'm certainly not sitting here telling you that I think that could happen. If there's any development on this where it looks like there's even a chance, I would be all over this like a rash, because suddenly Manchester United look serious. And after the window started amazing, then spent 7 weeks to get a signing over the line that we knew we were doing, if you manage to pull out a Gyökeres here as well, wow. But I expect him to go to Arsenal and I expect him to do really well. Let me know your thoughts, though. Rhubarb or no rhubarb? Is this real? Do United have a chance here, or is our name being used? I don't think we're being used, but I think our name is being used to hurry Arsenal up into action. See you in the next one.